Hello to viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Computer Wednesday, we're going to talk about why laptops became slow, meaning you buy a brand new laptop, why it starts to slow. Well, first you have to understand laptops are no longer just a gimmick. Ironically, it's a very trusted tool for many jobs and application, meaning you have to have it. It's not like, who cares? No, you care. You seriously care. So fundamentally, for many reasons, we want to have a laptop, we pay for a laptop and we use the goddamn laptop. However, even though a laptop could easily function for 3 to 4 years or maybe even longer, they slow down, and sometimes they can slow down so much that it's no longer viable. So back in the old days, you could have easily bought a laptop and chill for 4 years. Now you'd be lucky to get 2 years out of it. So what the hell is happening that is causing this sort of quote unquote aging or slowdown? Well, and sometimes, especially with very cheap laptops, you would find the moment the warranty is over, they starts to like, it's like, what the hell happened? And it's not like desktop where you can utilize it for 10 years and just swap out parts that wear out. It's like, it's almost a package deal. So what the hell? And again, the penalty of that, it becomes a money pit. You may not be calculating that you are not rich because you are buying too many laptops. Like you may be buying a laptop every 2 years, but here's the, that's a lot of money. Even with a cheap laptop, that's a lot of money. You put that in SIP, you're going to be sorted in few years. So fundamentally, it becomes a money pit that we must take care of. So the first thing is dirty. Your laptop is dirty. So modern CPUs, does not matter whether it's ARM, does not matter Snapdragon, does not matter Qualcomm, whatever have you, Intel, AMD, go YOLO on it. They all have what we classify as dynamic frequency scaling, meaning back in the old days, it was static. Like it's 4 gigahertz, it is 4 gigahertz. Nowadays, it's not high, specifically for laptop and low power devices, simply because they have to save energy. So for example, let's say you have a laptop and you're watching a video, it's not gonna burn energy of like 4 gigahertz. It will be like, okay, let's clock it down as low as possible. So that's how we save energy. But the moment it detects load on the CPU and detects the temperature, it can boost it momentarily. What does that mean? That simply means running an application many times is not that hard as launching the goddamn application. Even if you have a very fast SSD had to be read from, and because we are talking about opening an application, it would be a lot of tiny files and many of them compressed files, or it would require some sort of authentication and all that, which will take a lot of crunching power. So you could have a scenario where some application takes time to open up. I remember back in the old days of my job where it was like, 3ds Max was like, you click it and you relax, you take a chill pill. It's going to take 1 minute or 2 minutes to open up. And again, these were very powerful systems, but again, 3ds Max was so heavy. And again, same goes with anything made by Adobe. So, and even other applications made by DaVinci. So they are heavy applications, so they take a lot of oomph. So computer manufacturers figured out around in 2015 is like, you can make your lightweight laptop feel like a GG performer if you can tweak its performance at the right time. Meaning, if they run it at, let's say, 4.5 gigahertz, it's gonna fry. But if they momentarily boost it, basically you open the file, computer detects that it's under load, then it waits for a few milliseconds. It's like, okay, the load is seriously high, then it cranks it up. Then you get a feeling where it's like that surge load was taken care of very quickly, and then it goes to baseline and your computer feels fine and it's snappy. So that's how most of the day-to-day experience is managed. That's how computer firmware handles it. However, that assumes the temperature data. Load part is completely dependent on you, but temperature part is not on you. You're not paying attention to it. So if heatsink is dirty, it's not conducting heat enough into, like, from your SoC to actual air flow. It's not conducting enough of it. So penalty would be that base temperature would be high. So if base was 50, now base is 75, computer will not clock up. Heck, it might even downclock because it's detecting that it's either overheating or like in a position where air does not have enough heat capacity. So that creates an issue where clogged up heat sinks, basically these puppies, and God help you, what the hell is this? In this sort of scenario, computer will try to downclock itself to keep it running. Now, back in the old days, this actually used to mean system shutdown. That's why back systems were designed in such a way that you can easily clean it. Nowadays, there is this weird problem that just the thermal mass is enough that you can have a low power processor running continuously without too much issue. So your computer will go from like 4 gigahertz GG to like 3.5 or maybe 3. Oh, God help you if it goes that low. But if it goes there, it's still a functional computer. So it will keep it, but it will be slow. So you will be very frustrated because CPU is not cool enough. So first you will have that snipey performance will go away, then you will have the base like the base level starts to go down, and then you're like, you know what, laptop is not cool. It can't, it's not cool. So that's the problem. So the easiest solution is regular cleaning. Now let this be very clear, it depends on your location, depends on your use case, but caution here is generally advisable. Compressed air or air blowers on heat sinks regularly, it's a really good way of making sure that nothing bad happens. It's like it's a really low cost solution to make sure your system does not become this. Look into any laptop repair shop, majority of them are this, just a heatsink cloud down. It's like it's very slow, it's shuggies, it's thermal throttles. Yeah, because you are roasting this puppy. And sometimes, especially if you had not taken care of it and if it was running very hot, let's say 80 or 90 degrees Celsius for way too long, let's say you are a programmer and you are compiling all of the time and it was like at that point in time, the thermal paste that was applied by a company may have reached its upper limit and it's like, bro, I'm out. And that is a bad thing to happen. So at that point in time, you may have to repaste. Again, only do it if it's old. Like I would say, do not even take it into consideration if it's less than 3 years old. So after 3 years, go YOLO on it. Then again, if it's an expensive laptop and the laptop was not done by liquid cooling or liquid metal or a very high-end phase change thermal pad, you may want to swap it. You may want to. Again, only do that for expensive one. Repasting is more than good enough for most laptops, but phase change thermal pad, again, for certain scenarios is desirable. Gaming laptops do benefit from it. So that will be the easiest way to get more oomph and more lifespan out of your equipment, even though nothing physically is bad with it. Electronically, it's good, it's sorted. It's just that thermal systems are like, bro, I can't cool it. So you may have a weird feeling where it's like, if it's in a very cold office room, this works fine. You come into home, it's like, what the hell? So dirt is the first thing. That's the first thing. Clean it regularly. And if you're buying a new laptop, please Google, has anybody opened it up and actually seen how can you actually clean the fan or not? And again, if possible, please look into, can you buy replacement fans? They do break sometimes, especially modern ones are so thin. They are like, if you look at them wrong, it will break. So look into those two things, and that will allow your laptop to go from 2 years to 3 years easy. So this is the first thing, dirt, overheating. Then we to come another aspect, that is full. Your operating system disk is full. Now, SSDs are fast. That is awesome part. We went from barely 100 to 250 Mbps to 600 Mbps from proper SSD SATA 3 to NVMe. At this point in time, you can easily have 7,000, like 7 gigabytes per second. So we have gone up exponentially. But here's the deal. They are not RAM chips. RAM chip does not care how much full it is. So the latency requirement does not care. It's like, oh, you are looking this file in this memory bank. I got you. Oh, I'm full. It does not care. But SSD do care. So this is one thing that you must understand. And if your SSD is choking up, it will cause a slow laptop and you will not figure out why the heck it is so. So first thing, if your SSD fills up, it cannot do garbage collection. Now, what is garbage collection? Back in the old days of mechanical drive, when you had going like this, files, whenever you are writing the file, the computer wrote the file. Hard drive, because it could not buffer it, there was just like, okay, let me write the files, and it just randomly stored the file, or different tracks, different lengths, like it was bad. So you're supposed to do defragment. Basically, it will take the data, put it in somewhere else, then arrange it properly, then write it sequentially. So it's very smooth, very easy operation. We used to do that, but here's the deal. Nowadays, you do not need to do that because this garbage collection is happening on the controller level all the time. Basically, it's taking care of it. But if your primary OS SSD is almost full, it's like, I can't rearrange the files, man. Like, it's like, bro, I'm done. I can't do anything now. I can't take the file and put it in any cache because, again, caches are not that huge. So what the hell you gonna do? And again, if you are doing it, it has to split the file into smaller chunks, take a bigger page file, store where the heck they are doing, and then arrange it slowly. It will bog down. So even a flagship SSD will be like, so that's a bad thing. So garbage collection cannot happen, and there is no room for trim. Trim is a function where computer has a map, heat map of the data. So that heat map is basically which files, specifically OS page files, they have a unique signature. So trims generally put them in the healthiest cell because, again, you are reading, writing a lot, you are wearing them down a lot. But if it detects like this cell is weakened, grinded away, basically. Now, physically does not mean grinding away. Grinding away simply means the electron gate that is holding the charge is no longer strong enough. The voltage signal is not clean enough. It's like, okay, let's put dump file, let's put some cold file into this, let's not put page file into this. So it will try to move it away. But how would it move it away if it's already full? So that's why trim function also requires some empty space. And page file, oh my god, temporary files expands like whoop. So for this reason, you must have empty space in your SSD. Now, problem is that most of the time when people are doing SSD benchmarking, they are doing like this, 0%, like it's a brand new, they put it in and it's like, let's benchmark it. Problem with that, you're gonna get awesome performance. Read performance does not change that much, right? It does. For example, even going from 0% to 50%, which again, technically should not have any issue, it starts to go from 3953 to 3950, 3 Mbps lost. 619, 606 already lost. And again, this is 50%. If it was like an 80% or 90%, you'll be shocked how quickly the speed. And if that happens even on this flagship ones. And let that be clear, the cheaper the SSD is, the worse this outcome would be. So you may only have to fill it up to 60% and it's like, so let that be very clear. So make sure your OS SSD is empty. It should have at least 25% of empty space. So it does not matter how many gigabyte or terabyte it is. It's always supposed to be 25% of it. Again, that's a conservative, but again, you want your laptop to feel snappy and fast, please make sure so. And what if you can't? Well, in those sort of scenario, upgrading to a pro grade SSD is desirable. And again, that's the difference why some SSDs cost as much as a cheap laptop. And again, a cheap laptop is not going to give you the best SSD. Many times they have SSDs that are like barely upgraded flash drive. Again, write performance is the hard part. Read performance, almost all of them, and most of them people are, oh, how quickly it opens up and all that. Yeah, read performance is easy. It's the write performance that destroys it. And again, unless you are buying server grade equipment, servers, they are like, no, we actually fill it up to 90% and then we're going to show what is the speed. So make sure you have 25% empty space. If you can't, try to go into Pro Series SSDs and ideally try to have external storage. Basically, make sure your OS disk, the SSD, is as clean as possible, and partition does not help here. So it has to be one continuous, easy, relaxed disk. And all your homework, you can put on another system or external. So that's the easiest way to make sure that you do not have random slowdown, or worst case scenario, if one random page file opens up and it opens up too much, your Windows will completely get clocked. It's like, I can't do anything anymore. So let that be very clear. Make sure you do not have red in your SSDs. 25% minimum. It's better to be that way. Trust me. And partition does not help. Make sure you have one clean SSD. Then we come to the OS image part. Let's say you made sure your SSD is clean. Let's say you made sure your computer is physically clean, so it's actually cool. Then we come to the operating system image file. Now, whenever you install the operating system image, it creates one image that it reads from. But again, that image gets modified. Every changes, every tweaking that you do gets added to it. And penalty, it starts to get bloated. What does bloated mean here? Well, your page file becomes huge. Your cache starts to cache so many things you do not even know. Like, I installed this program, I deleted it, uninstalled it, the cache is still there. You would be shocked how many things are like that in your computer. And install, uninstall, most of the applications are not going through any hard quality control where they're like, okay, uninstall, does it actually remove the things or not? So you'd be shocked. Like, you genuinely would be shocked how many times uninstall simply means, it's like nobody actually going, are you uninstalling everything? So that's a serious issue. So your OS becomes bloated. So that's an issue. Now, hardware could be working exactly as expected. Exactly. It's just that your OS is dealing with so much, background task. It's like, so that creates an issue. So you must take care of it. And worst case scenario, you could have a miner. Now, early phase of miners, they were stupid. They were going like, I'm going to mine everything we can before you detect it. And somebody was like, hey, idiot, mine only a small bit. It's like, but it will not make enough Bitcoins. It's like, no, you're going to affect so many computers and nobody's going to notice it, because who notices in MacBooks, and it's just going to slowly chip away at it. Day one, who cares? Day 100, now so many coinings happening. So, and again, back in the old days, it was like super easy to spot whether you have been infected or not. It was like 0% CPU to like 100% CPU all the time. It's like, yeah, something is wrong. And again, people used to hear it because again, the CPU fan starts to go up. Now they're like, no. Easy, brother. 3% to 5%. They're like, easy, brother. So again, those could have also happened and you may not know it. So the easiest solution is periodic formatting. It's a good maintenance strategy, does allow you to get a lot more work done. And it also helps you psychologically, physically, and your memory wise. It's like, what the heck do you actually use? Meaning, there's especially heavy users, we install a lot of things, but we rarely use all of them. So this sort of cleaning cycle, let's say you do it annually, it would be a very good time for you to like, oh, I actually use this application. This is a good application. This is a must-have application. This, like, who cares? So this sort of sorting will allow you to make sure that you do not have bloated operating system image. So you format it, you install the only things that you need, and again, keep the data in different place. And you may be like, can't I use OS imaging? Yes, you can, but it has a penalty, especially if your gaps between formats is huge. You will get inundated by updates. Meaning you are like, okay, let's say in 2020, you bought your laptop, everything is cool, you're smart, everything is clean, everything is blank, you install all the application needed, and then you imaged it, and then like, okay, cool. And then let's say 3 years after that, 2023, is like, okay, the system is too bloated, let's format everything, let's flush it, let's install it from image. You did that. Now every application, the moment you open it up, update found, update. So that's frustrating, right? So for that reason, clean install allows you to bypass all that issue. But please make sure your important data is safe, backed up. And thankfully, Windows have made it much easier, because here's the deal. The big applications are big applications. Basically, you install your Windows. After that, you install Fusion 360, Blender, Adobe applications, DaVinci Resolve. These are big applications. Those are completely different puppies. But what about hundreds of small applications? For example, let's say Chrome, 7-Zip, InfernView, Pot Player, VLC media player, this sort of small applications that, again, you need to have it, but you will not be able to like I'm installing so many randomly, and the moment it's auto hotkey, I can't work without it. So all those sort of things will become very frustrating if you have to do it manually, each of them. So that's how it used to be. It was very difficult. And Linux player is like, just a file, done, go home. Windows is like, I got you, fam. Win install. Recently introduced in Windows, you create a list, you put the list, press enter, go home. And again, I assume you have C drive, it will install everything in C drive. You can make sure that it does not even prompt you anything. It's like, ta-da, don't even open up saying, don't even let me click, just. And if you do it right, you can have a text file, which is just text file, and you install the system, everything fresh, ready to go. No more update message. So that's why this is better. And again, update is one part. Another aspect is like anything that you do not need or need, it will make it super obvious. So OS image cleansing is another aspect that allows you to get far more useful work out of your laptop, even though your laptop may be perfectly fine hardware wise. It's just like so this is another tool that you can do. Make sure your OS image is clean, efficient, and lightweight. Now, there are certain limits, because you have to understand, unfortunately, current operating system, because Microsoft no longer makes as much money from Windows as they used to. The majority of money maker is this what we call Azure. So they're not focusing as much on that. They used to have testing. Now they have fired all of them. Now they're like, okay, let's better test on the public. So it's a really bad scenario. And all the apps ecosystem, they have now become what we call unpolished mess or service. It's just like, oh, just install it. It's like, oh, we have fried the system. Okay, we're gonna reinstall it. It's really bad. That's why I said, like, people are no longer testing whether you are uninstalling or not properly. So it's a mess. There are limitations. And that penalty of unpolished hardware is like, it may require too much. Again, games can easily run in 12 GB VRAM. But why the heck so many games are struggling? Nobody's polishing it. You can easily run a game in 12 GB. It's like, no, you need 16. No. I used to be a game artist. Trust me, this is my job. You can easily make it. Just you have to spend some time into it, some polish effort, some elbow grease into it. Nobody wants to put that elbow grease. So that's the one aspect of it. Another is RAM upgrade may not be possible. Many modern laptops is like, lol. And I'm hoping that CAM modules that allows you to bypass that issue becomes mainstream, but I have not seen much encouraging news yet. So hopefully that will, but again, it's no longer as huge as it used to be. Meaning, if laptops were in like 2015 or 2020, 2020 is a bit late, but you get the point. Like in 2015, oh, it still has mechanical RAM. What if I swap mechanical to SSD? It's like, whoa. What if I change the RAM from 8 GB to 16? Whoa. But here's the deal, that 16 to 32 is not that whoa. So this reaches a point where most upgrades that you can do in your laptops nowadays is not that whoa. So now to get that wow, you have to have a framework laptop, and then you go from 11th gen Intel to 12th gen Intel. It's like, okay. And again, that also was a very small jump, and this is early one. Now you have 11th to 13th jump possible. Now you're like, damn. So that cannot be done most of the time. And another thing is, while I did specify laptop slowdown, most of the time people have tiny things, even not those things. They have tiny things. Basically, your screen cracked. If you have an HP laptop hinge problem, and if you have basically battery, it's gonna be wear down. So you'll be like, okay, battery is cooking. Oh, by the way, sometimes battery firmware is built in such a way that if BMS bricks out or it's not giving accurate data, the computer will downclock itself as safety measure. So again, it's not that common, and again, you're not never supposed to notice it. So, but again, that will happen. So it's one of those things that the small things are the reason why most of the time laptops are bricked. And I'm very hopeful that framework becomes successful, specifically after the framework 12. And again, it's supposed to be low cost. It does have a lot of wisdom from all their past experience. So I'm hopeful for this. And if you have to buy a laptop, make sure that is it openable or not, is it cleanable or not, does it have 12 NVMe slots or not. If it has something like this, this is awesome. You can have one pro one cheap one, you're gonna have awesome experience. And again, is battery replaceable or not, so those sort of things. So there are certain limits. Do not expect like framework level desktop experience, but you're gonna have okay experience if you make sure all these three things are done properly regularly. And then, well, just hope that this becomes successful. So this was my presentation on basically why laptops become slow. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free. And as always, thanks for watching.